Hi everyone, I'm Laura. I'm the CEO of VMV Hypoallergenics. We're here to save the world's skin with the safest, most proven effective care on the planet. Our approach to safety is very much allergen omission, so we take the top contact allergens as published by leading experts around the world based on thousands and thousands of patch tests on the skin, and we omit them from the formulation. So most of our formulations have none of all 109 top contact allergens, and we have a proprietary rating system. It's like a grading system. It's almost like an SPF in that it's very quick to see how many allergens are in a formulation or not. VH 109 over 109 would be the highest number at this point, the best grade, the most allergens not in a formulation. If the number were lower, like VH 108, then there would be an asterisk that corresponded to the ingredients list to show you what allergen was included. And if it's not an allergen that you patch tested positive for particularly, you should still be able to use the product. A clinical study on the VH rating system, which stands for the Validated Hypoallergenic Rating System, was published in the leading contact dermatitis journal, which is a peer-reviewed journal, and showed less than 0.1% reactions in over 30 years, so very safe. And in terms of efficacy, we're big believers in evidence-based clinical trials. We have many papers published. Getting one paper published in a peer-reviewed journal is kind of a big deal, and thanks to my mother, who is our founding dermatopathologist and has hundreds to her name, we have over 75, 80 or so that are published in peer-reviewed journals. So nice validated efficacy as well. If you would like to shop our validated hypoallergenic products, you can do so at vmvhypoallergenics.com internationally and vmvhypoallergenics.ph in the Philippines. And we can also help customize recommendations for you based on your particular patch test and even possible cross-reactants. And we do a lot of skin tell, helpful information on our social media. So make sure to follow us on Instagram, like us on Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the notification bell. We also do a live stream weekly where you can ask your questions and get them answered live. So pretty cool. Don't miss out on that. And check out our blog, vmvinskin.com, for loads and loads and loads of helpful skin tell. Today, I will be giving you the skinny on alcohol in skincare. So to start off, alcohol is a categorization of a substance based on its molecular structure, its chemical signature. This is why alcohol can be a lot of different things that you might not think of, right? So when we think of alcohol, we think either booze or liquor or the alcohol that we use for disinfecting things, right? Or the doctor's clinic uses. Those are alcohol, sure, but so are waxes. Alcohol can actually be moisturizing and waxy. So it's not drying all the time. It's not irritating all the time. It can be allergenic. It can be an irritant, but alcohol is a way of categorizing substances based on their chemical structure. In terms of bad and good alcohols, so starting us off, and I don't want to show a brand here, but typical sort of disinfecting alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, ethyl alcohol. These alcohols are not top contact allergens. They are irritants. Lots of things can be irritants. My hair touching my face, water, if you use too much of it, really prolonged exposure can be an irritant. Alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, ethyl alcohol can be irritants. They're definitely drying, but they're not top contact allergens. To the point that if you were using a hand sanitizer or alcohol to disinfect something, or your hands, what might actually be the bigger problem is added fragrance to the alcohol or dyes to the alcohol, which are top contact allergens. So drying, sure. And there are ways to address that, right? You can make sure that you use virgin coconut oil after to help repair the barrier. You can use instead virgin coconut oil and monolaurin for disinfecting needs when your skin is really dry already. But ethyl alcohol and isopropyl alcohol are not top contact allergens. They are drying and they are irritants. But as with every other irritant, it depends on how much you're exposed to it, how much of it you're using. When you stop using it, you should be fine and get back to it without a problem. Again, as long as there's no fragrance or any other allergen in there. What's interesting is then going to something that has benzyl alcohol. So benzyl alcohol would not be used the same way as sort of disinfecting alcohols, but it's a fragrance. It smells nice. So that is a top contact allergen. And here's the frustrating thing. So you might patch test positive for fragrance, right? And so you would pick up like a lotion or something that says unscented or fragrance free. And so you look at the ingredients list, and true enough, there's no fragrance, there's no perfume that is listed, but there's benzyl alcohol. If you didn't know any better, you might pick it up and think, sure, no problem. Benzyl alcohol is related to fragrance and is a top contact allergen. So that's something to look out for. Something else that's extremely interesting is lanolin. It's a wonderful, waxy, sort of occlusive moisturizer. So it's great for moist wound healing. Lanolin is an alcohol. It is a wool alcohol. It is very moisturizing, very waxy and gooey. It almost looks like a super, super thick honey, but mega thick honey. And lanolin is a top contact allergen. So something being an alcohol does not automatically make it an allergen or not, right? It is a category based on its chemical structure. Ethyl alcohol and isopropyl alcohol, not allergens, but irritating. So handled with care, try not to use them way too much. And if your hands are getting dry, try switching over to virgin coconut oil with monolaurin, or at the very least, use the virgin coconut oil to repair your hands after. So how does this then play in skincare? We hear a lot, is alcohol bad in skincare? And the answer is not really, and it depends on the alcohol. So if you have skincare that contains lanolin or contains benzyl alcohol, then yeah, it's a top contact allergen. If you have patch tested positive to those ingredients, don't use that skincare or that cosmetic, right? But when you pick up, this is really fascinating, when you pick up a product, let's say you pick up a product, and one of the more common reactions to our products is, why does it look brown? And the short answer to that is because we don't use colorants or dyes, especially in our skincare. So yeah, if it's brown like this, it's going to stay that way. We're not going to change the color because dyes are a top contact allergen. But so other people, like if this were a toner, or even with this, would smell it and be like, it smells like a lab, or it smells like alcohol if it were in the case of a toner. And therefore they think that's bad. What's interesting is the opposite is kind of truer. If you smell something that smells really good, like this, very perfumey, it is lovely. It's so, so delicious smelling. Or if you were to smell something that didn't smell like anything, it didn't smell perfumey, it didn't really smell like a flower or lavender, whatever, but it also didn't smell like alcohol. It didn't smell like a lab. The safer bet would be to avoid that too, because the chances are pretty high that it contains masking fragrances. Masking fragrances are exactly how they sound. They're not perfumey fragrances, but they are fragrances that mask the inherent smell of a formulation. So again, if you have patch tested positive for fragrance and you take a whiff of your skincare and it smells beautiful, walk away. If you've patch tested positive for fragrance and you smell a product and it doesn't smell pretty or perfumey, but it doesn't really smell like a lab or anything, walk away, because the chances are there's masking fragrances. If you smell a product and go, okay, I smell the alcohol or it smells like a lab, chances are that's actually the safer option for you, especially if you have patch tested positive for fragrance. In a toner that uses isopropyl alcohol or ethyl alcohol, as long as the concentration is pretty low and there's no fragrance added to it, there are no dyes or nothing, no other allergens in the formulation, it's actually really, really well tolerated by the skin, especially in lower concentrations, because then you avoid an allergic reaction and avoid an irritant reaction. And alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, ethyl alcohol, are great vehicles for a lot of active ingredients. That's why they're used. So if you pick up a toner and then you go, Gosh, it smells like alcohol. Look at the type of alcohol. Look at how much of it is there. And you can probably even contact the brand and find out why is there alcohol in here. So that's kind of the overview of alcohols. I hope you found that helpful. Certainly share this if you think it might be helpful to someone else. And if you have any questions for us, please write them in the comments. We'd be very, very happy to address them. Also, let us know if there's anything else you'd like us to cover. Don't miss our weekly live streams. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our Facebook page, and follow us on Instagram. And yeah, check out our blog too for lots of helpful skin tell. Take care and be safe. Have a skintastic day. See you next time.